Yes, it's the HumKayLive series this Sunday, like every Sunday, 7 p.m. East African time. Our time of fresh music and inspiration to jumpstart your week in style. It's always a joy to be here, and thank you. Thank you for making the time to join me for the HumKayLive series today. I traveled to the West for a series of meetings and such, but you know how it is. Regardless of where I am, regardless of what the time zone is, I have to come to you with the HumKayLive series this Sunday, like every Sunday, 7 p.m. East African time, our time of fresh music and inspiration to jumpstart your week in style and in the presence of God. I hope you are well. I'm doing great. The meetings have been going awesome. We still have one more service to go before I travel back. And hey, am I grateful? Am I thankful for everything that the Lord has done and everything that the Lord is still doing, and even everything that the Lord is yet to do? I am truly, truly grateful. And I believe that the Lord is at work in your life as well. If you can share a testimony, share a story, share something that the Lord has done for you today or lately, and I will be delighted to rejoice with you. We would all be delighted to rejoice with you here on the HumKayLive series this Sunday, like every Sunday, 7 p.m. East African time, our time of fresh music and inspiration. Share some inspiration, share something inspiring for somebody. Let somebody know God is still at work. Let somebody know God is still in control. Even when sometimes things don't look like it, God is still in control. And that is why we're here, alive and breathing, because He still has business to do with us. And we just have to believe and trust Him. We just have to believe and trust Him. Otherwise, you're welcome again. My name is HumKay, and it gives me pleasure to welcome you here every single time. I just ask you to remember to like, to subscribe, and to share this particular episode with everybody that you can, so that they can also get inspired like we are doing. Worship is the business I am about today and many days, many times. Worship is what I'm really about, and I'd just like to take a few minutes to worship with you today, and also to remind you, now that I'm mentioning worship, to remind you that my book, Spirit of Worship is out. Spirit of Worship is out. It is out on Amazon. You can get yourself a copy on Amazon. Wherever it is you are in the world, you can order a copy of Spirit of Worship by HumKay off your Amazon. Okay, you can have this on your Amazon Kindle as an ebook, or you can actually order for the paperback. It's now available both in ebook and paperback version for your taking. Okay, it's ready for your taking. All right, so I appreciate the Lord that on my birthday this year, which was a few days ago, the 28th of August, I was able to have both the ebook and the paperback version of Spirit of Worship available for you. Worship is really the reason we are here. I'm always reminded of the story of the children of Israel in Egypt when Moses was sent to them. God gave him instructions. I'm sure you've read that story or watched it somehow in an animation or heard about it in Sunday school or something. So I'll not go through the detail of the story. But one of the things that I remember were those conversations that Moses had with the Pharaoh of Egypt. And he said, "Let my people go that they may worship me. Let my people go that they may serve me." When God saves us from Egypt, when God saves us from the world and brings us into His kingdom, it is not just so that we will go to heaven. It is not just so that we will drink milk and honey. It is not just so that we will end up in the land of Canaan. It is also, and more importantly, that we will serve Him and that we will worship Him, because to love Him is to serve Him, and to serve Him is to worship Him. That's why that scripture or that conversation or discussion or negotiation between Moses and the Pharaoh always said, "Let my people go so that they may worship me." So this book, Spirit of Worship, speaks into the most important reason for which God actually saved us. It is to make worshipers out of us. It is to make worshipers out of us. Okay? And so if you are living your life as a believer and you are not living your life as a worshiper, then you are actually doing half the job. You are doing half the job for which you have been called or for which you have been saved. And this is very, very important. It is not for musicians, because worship is not about music, okay? Worship and music are two different things, though we use music to worship. This is about the spirit of worship. So every believer and every worship minister that would like to get an understanding, a deeper and clearer understanding of what worship is about, it is important for you to get the book Spirit of Worship. Okay, so that is available on Amazon, and if you're within Uganda, then you can just drop us an email or give us a call. Oh boy, I don't have that number on hand just now, but well, if you're in Uganda, you can call +256 780 338 348. That would be a helpful number for you to call, and we will advise you on how to get yourself a copy of Spirit of Worship here in Uganda. Okay, all right, that's just about it with the book Spirit of Worship. Otherwise, remember, we are saved from Egypt, from the world. We are saved and brought into the Lord's marvelous light, from the kingdom of darkness into his marvelous light, so that we may serve him. And to serve him is to worship him. That is the reason we are here. That is the reason we live. And I just want to sing this song of worship together with you. I hope you are able to sing along. It's one of those old ones that I hope you know. If you don't, then you will pick it up along the way. It's a very simple tune for everybody to pick up and sing along and worship along. And that is what I want to do just about now. All right. When I look into your holiness, and when I gaze into your loveliness, when all things that surround become shadows in the light of you. Ooh. When I found the joy of reaching your heart, when my will becomes enthroned in your love, when all things that surround become shadows in the light of you, I worship you. I worship you. The reason I live is to worship you. I worship you. I worship you. The reason I live is to worship you. Oh, yeah. When I look into your holiness, and when I gaze into your loveliness, when all things that surround become shadows in the light of you, when I found the joy of reaching your heart. When my will becomes enthroned in your love, when all things that surround become shadows in the light of you, the reason I live is to worship you. The reason I live is to worship you. The reason I live is to worship you. To worship you. To worship you. The reason we live is to worship the Lord. The Bible tells us He has created us for His glory and pleasure, and nothing gives the Lord more pleasure than for us to worship Him. It is the most intimate expression of our love for Him, and when we worship Him, it gives Him great pleasure. So always take the time out to worship the Lord, and remember to worship Him like Jesus commanded us to worship Him, not just as a matter of a song, not just as a matter of a routine, not just as a matter of a religious ritual, but to worship Him in spirit and in truth. If you do not know what that means, then please get yourself a copy of this book and get a proper understanding of what worship in spirit and in truth is really about. The book is Spirit of Worship, and it will be a blessing to your life if you can get it on Amazon, or if you can call and make your order for a physical copy if you're within Uganda. That is where it's currently available, as well as Amazon.com. Okay? If you don't know your way around Amazon, just go to my website, www.humkay.com. HumKay is HumKay.com, and you should be able to find it right on the landing page and proceed with the purchase from right there. Thank you for being with me today for the HumKayLive series this Sunday. Like every Sunday, 7 p.m. East African time, our time of fresh music and inspiration to jumpstart your week in style. And I hope you've had a great time today. Remember to comment, leave me a comment, let me know how this has ministered to you, and remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and also to share this episode with somebody that they may be blessed by this moment of worship that we've had together. I would like to let you go. I would like to wish you a great week. May the blessings of God be with you. May the grace of God be with you. May everything you touch turn to gold for the glory of Jesus Christ, because He's worthy of the glory and the honor and the power and the praise that we can give. Have yourself a great week. See you again Sunday for the HumKayLive series, our time of fresh music and inspiration to jumpstart your week in style. Bye-bye.